Welcome to Helldiving for HellDads, Stealth and the Redacted Warbond. This episode is a follow-up on our last episode, Suppressors and Bot Detection. We recommend watching that video first to get the basics down, as we will be expanding upon them in this video. A link to it will be in the description below. Note, with the Redacted Warbond update, the sound detection range of all suppressed weapons was reduced from 33 meters down to 16 meters. All other information is the same. We already have a basic understanding on how bot detection works. We know from the first video that they aggro off of visual detection. But how far can the bot see? If you are not wearing scout armor, you will be visually detected at 40 meters when standing, 30 meters when crouched, and 20 meters when prone. Scout armor says it reduces detection by 30%, but we found this to be closer to 25%. When wearing scout armor, you will be visually detected at 30 meters when standing, 23 meters when crouched, and 15 meters when prone. The new Redacted armor has the reduced signature perk, which reduces movement sound by 50% and detection by 40%. We found this to be fairly accurate. While standing, you can be detected at 25 meters. You are detected at 20 meters while crouched. And you are detected at 14 meters while prone. Weather has an effect on the bots just like it does us, reducing their visibility by 50%. This means, without scout armor and in a blizzard, you are detected at 20 meters when standing, 14 meters when crouched, and 10 meters when prone. Luckily, this compounds with scout armor. While in a blizzard with scout armor, you are detected at 15 meters while standing, 10 meters while crouched, and only 7 meters when prone. In a blizzard with Redacted armor, you are detected at 13 meters while standing, 9 meters while crouched, and only 6 meters while prone. However, not all of the bots are created equal. The factory strider can hear up to 50 meters, and upon hearing a sound will turn towards the source like other static bots. It also has a significantly farther visual detection range, making it incredibly dangerous when trying to use stealth. It will see you at 104 meters when standing, 84 meters when crouched, and 54 meters while prone. By approaching from the side, we were able to get about 20 meters before it noticed us. However, unlike the visual check from the front, this time it completely aggroed, causing the other nearby bots to aggro as well. Detector towers also call bot drops off of visual detection and have a much higher detection range than normal bots. Avoiding their ever-searching eye is imperative if you are trying to be stealthy. Without scout armor, a detector tower will see you at 204 meters and will call in a bot drop at your location.
Cancel that. Objective located.
Going prone can help reduce the distance a detector tower can see you at, but you will still be spotted if caught in the open at 100 meters or closer.
Objective located. Objective located.
So how do we close the gap without being spotted? Detector towers scan in a circle, so you can approach while it is still scanning other areas. When it circles back around, you can use the terrain as cover to block its line of sight until it passes. Once clear, proceed forward. So we've got visual detection ranges down, but what else did we learn about their ability to hear? It turns out the sound of a Strategem ball landing is quite loud and can be heard up to 63 meters away. The bots will react to the sound of a Strategem ball the same way they react to other sounds like gunfire or movement. Additionally, Strategem balls are capable of causing a near miss on the bots. If thrown outside of this range, they react as we just described. But if thrown within near miss range, the bots will aggro just like an unsuppressed weapon. Following up on the bots' reaction to unsuppressed weapons, we found a unique tool to help you with stealthing. The Railgun is unsuppressed, which means enemies hear it at 36 meters and a near miss causes instant aggro. However, it is capable of killing heavy units like Hulks and War Striders in one hit. This means if you land a kill on a heavy unit, and there are no other units close enough to receive a near miss, you can kill heavies without gaining any aggro. This is invaluable for clearing objectives or bases. Additionally, the Railgun is also capable of killing Fabricators in 5 shots, which can be used in a pinch. As long as you are outside of the 36-meter sound range, and as long as you don't cause a near miss when firing at the Fabricator, you can take it out quietly since the Railgun does not cause explosions on hit. There were also rumors spreading that laser and plasma weapons as well as the Stim pistol were believed to be silent. These weapons all reacted exactly the same as unsuppressed weapons. They were heard at 36 meters and caused aggro on a near miss. Throwing knives, however, are completely silent even with near misses. We do want to add a word of caution. Bot patrols are linked, so killing one, even with a silent throwing knife, will cause the others to investigate as if they had heard a sound, and they will investigate your location, not the location of the dead bot. So be sure to relocate, or be ready to take them out one by one as they get into range. We also wanted to do some testing on Fabricators. We wanted to see if hitting them would cause aggro. It turns out it does not. You can hit them with a suppressed, unsuppressed, or explosive weapon and they will not alert nearby bots. This means you can use the crossbow to blow them up as long as there are no bots close enough for the explosion to count as a near miss. Since the crossbow has a 6 to 7 meter explosion radius and we speculate a near miss to be within 5 meters, it would be safe practice to make sure nothing is within 11 to 12 meters of the Fabricator before blowing it up. While testing this, we also learned that Fabricator explosions are silent. The reason bots come to investigate is due to the explosion sound the crossbow makes when it hits the Fabricator. This allows for a very interesting interaction with the chainsaw. Because all melee is silent, and because we now know that Fabricator explosions are silent, it is now possible to destroy a Fabricator completely silently, even if there is an enemy right next to it. Don't worry. The bots also ignore all yelling and shouting from our Helldiver. This rocket devastator even takes some damage from the explosion and is none the wiser. Additionally, Fabricators will immediately spawn a new bot if one of the bots in the base is killed. This means as long as a Fabricator is still alive, it will constantly churn out patrol bots. It is advised to remove them as soon as possible when tackling a base or objective. Otherwise, you will always have patrol-style bots coming to investigate any sounds you make. Now, we briefly touched on what happens once you do get aggro in the first video, but we have done more digging to find out additional behaviors. First, when bots aggro, they call for help. This appears to only happen the second you gain aggro. Once this call for help happens, no other bots will join the fight, even if you are being directly shot. Second, if you have aggro, you can lose it by breaking line of sight with the bots. If they can no longer see you, they will go to your last known location to see if they can find you. If they cannot find you, they will lose aggro and return to their last task. Please note that each bot that is aggroed will have to individually check to see if they can find you. This means, in the example of patrols, the troopers will run over quickly, determine you are not there, and reset. However, the devastators will still be walking over to verify for themselves you are not there, and will only reset once they see for themselves. As you can see here, the devastators have not yet confirmed I am no longer in that location, and I am forced to back off until they do so. You need to make sure all bots have reset before moving back into their territory. Okay, we are all clear and can move on. There was speculation that upon losing aggro and returning to their last task, the bots entered a heightened alert state and would aggro much more easily. We debunked this. Enemies that lose aggro and return to their task react exactly the same as enemies who have never been aggroed. We broke line of sight with this rocket devastator. It is checking our last known position. And now it is resetting and returning to its last task. Now, as you can see, it reacts just like any other static bot. No heightened detection. Note, there does appear to be a bug where the bots will not lose aggro. They appear to get stuck, and no matter how far you back off or if you use cover to break line of sight, they will always be looking directly at you. No amount of time fixes this. We are going to speed up the section where we try to lose aggro on it. If this happens, they will instantly begin firing once you get within 40 meters of them. The only way to lose aggro and fix this bug is to despawn them by running over 160 meters. It is around this distance that enemies will render in and out of the game. You can even render an enemy out of existence in mid-attack, stopping the attack completely and resetting all aggro. As you can see here, the rocket devastator despawned, and a heavy devastator has spawned in its place. This spawning and despawning mechanic has other benefits as well. Since enemies spawn in at this distance, we can attack fabricators or objectives from further away to prevent any aggro from happening even when using large explosives like this solo silo. As you can see, it hits the base and destroys the fabricator, but the only enemy that is aggroed is this one trooper who was at 140 meters. On the bot front, once you have aggro, any troopers that are aggroed will attempt to call in a bot drop with a flare. They will need visual confirmation to do so. Even if you kill the bot trying to call in the flare, if there are more troopers in the aggroed group, they will each try to call a flare one right after the other. If you are quick enough, you can take them out one at a time and prevent the bot drop from happening. But what happens if the flare goes off and the bot drop is called? Is your stealth game over? No. It was speculated that dropships themselves have their own large detection range. This appears to not be the case. If you are able to break line of sight with any of the bots that currently have aggro before the drop arrives, the reinforcements from the bot drop will only go to your last known position. If they are unable to locate you, they will despawn one by one. A jump pack is a great option to create distance and get around a corner to break line of sight. As you see here, we broke line of sight with the detector tower, and all of the bots that were dropped are just wandering around where it last saw us. You can also use anything labeled as a sentry. This includes the shield relay generator, which luckily enough is considered a sentry. Strategems labeled sentry will immediately pull aggro off of you and will work as a distraction. This makes the shield generator a perfect distraction as its shield is able to block incoming fire, buying you plenty of time to break line of sight. Once a sentry is destroyed, and if you successfully broke line of sight, the bots will then investigate your last known position as discussed earlier. Finally, we wanted to see how all of this works while in a team. There was speculation that all Helldivers are connected, like enemy patrols, and that if one person aggroed, all four got aggro if close enough. This was hard to test, and might be partially true, however. It does appear that if you follow all of the rules of stealth mentioned in these two videos, you can remain undetected while your teammate runs around with the aggro. As seen here, the enemies aggro onto our teammate, but when he breaks line of sight, they investigate his last known position and then return to their last task while we stay prone in their range. Additionally, here you see a patrol attacking our teammate. We are able to use the throwing knives to kill some enemies without anyone else noticing us lay here.
Heavy, on my position.
Occasionally, we were found while staying prone while our teammate had aggro. But this may be a bug, as it was far more likely that they would not notice us. Okay, so we have the mechanics for stealth down. How does the new Redacted Warbond stuff function, and how does it fit into this stealth style? Let's start with the Censor. This is probably now the best stealth weapon. It is suppressed, so it functions just like the other suppressed weapons, except it is a marksman rifle. This means you can one-shot Devastators and Troopers from much further away than the SOCOM could, which was only 15 meters. This makes it much easier to move around and remove targets without detection. Next is the Re-Educator. This is a pistol that applies gas on hit. It is completely silent. Enemies will not hear you shoot it, nor react to near misses. However, hitting an enemy with it will cause aggro since it is not a one-hit kill. This will in turn cause the cry for help. Now we get to the fun stuff, the C4 pack. This is a stratagem that takes a support weapon slot and a backpack slot. It does 2000 AP7 damage and you get 6 charges. But where it gets interesting is, it is completely silent when applying it. It does not make any noise when thrown, with near misses, or even on direct contact with an enemy. This means you can stick it right to your target and they won't react at all. Note, there seems to be a bug as host where the bots will aggro when hit by the C4. It also has a 7-meter radius, which means you can usually take out a heavy plus all the bots around it. The explosion does make noise, but just like the crossbow, as long as no one is close enough to receive a near miss from the explosion, it will not cause any aggro. As you can see here, we blow up the Fabricator, the Hulk, and a Trooper right next to a rocket Devastator, and he is none the wiser. Additionally, you can set as many charges as you like before you detonate. This means you can take out an entire base in one click, without any aggro. Or you can plant traps for patrols or for bot drops, and detonate it when they are in position.
Throwing grenade!
It is capable of one-shotting Hulks, tanks, and War Striders.
Another step towards galactic liberation. You may extract when ready.
Factory Striders can also be killed with 2 charges. And finally, we have the Lure Mine Grenade. These are also completely silent. Enemies will not react to the sound of them being thrown, and they will not make a sound when on the ground. In order for these to work, the enemy has to see them. They can be seen up to 45 meters away. If you already have aggro, they will pull aggro off of you just like the Sentries we discussed earlier. Note, rocket Striders do not seem to be affected by them. When an enemy gets close enough, they detonate for 1000 AP5 damage. 2 of them can take down a Hulk. If you do not have aggro, an enemy will see it, scan, and then aggro onto it. Just like with the sentry distractions, after it is destroyed, the bots will go to your last known position to see if they can find you. They make a great distraction to help you lose aggro, just like the shield relay, except they only take a grenade slot. A word of caution, sticking them to an enemy causes an instant detonation. Additionally, you can set off your own mine, so throwing them at your feet also causes an instant detonation. So now that you understand how the bots behave, when they can detect you and how we can lose aggro, you are ready to tackle the bots in a stealth run. Congratulations!